IVM.
Hey everybody, welcome to another week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you are not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Paytm Money. As we head into week 4 of lockdown, we're doing our best to make sure that we maintain our schedules and try and get you as many of the podcasts that you're used to listening as we possibly can, but beg your indulgence if there are any slippages in schedules and times. With that, let's just get on with your show.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Uncle Please Sit. My name is Tushar Abhichandani and with me is Joel Pereira. How are you doing, Joel?
Tushar, I'd like to say my own name, please. Thank you.
Joel, say your name, Joel.
Hi, I am Joel Pereira. As formerly introduced as Joel Pereira.
How's it going, Joel? How's your new place of residence treating you? Temporary new place of residence.
This is one of those situations where like in a movie they'll be like, Dear Diary, it's week number 3. Supplies are running low, but spirits are up.
Make it cooler. No, captain's log.
Listen, I'm not in my own home. I won't assume to be the captain of the ship. You know who I'll be? I'll be the watchful doctor.
You keep
the
an
guy
eye
who
on
knows. The guy who knows everything's but it'll just be like, no, guys, it's okay. We're going to be fine. Hold in there. Chin up, lads.
That's exactly. So what have you been doing this lockdown?
Absolutely nothing, man. I really, really look forward to recording this podcast with you because one, human contact, and something to talk about.
Oh, man.
Because I've realized that Zoom calls with friends and all can only go so far, right?
No, I know. But we have sort of evolved them into a better thing, like how a lot of us play Ludo and then watch each other on Zoom call and then shit talk each other.
Yeah.
Closest thing to
I've also been in this. I told you, right? I'm in this very posh housing.
Yeah.
Actually, this is what we call a gated community in the US, but over here it's just called Colony in Hyderabad. And so basically, my neighbors are MPs and MLAs and stars of Telugu screen and stage and illustrious captains of industry, etc. So basically, Uncle Central.
It's like topic for topic.
It's like, yeah, exactly. So I was, so just to like, I'd like to say fitness, but more like to not lose my mind. I go on regular walks in the mornings and the evenings, and there are all these uncles huffing and puffing, and they're also on regular walks.
I hope you're all following social distancing norms.
Yeah, anyway, I always did follow social distancing. Now,
because
I'm just happy to report that I like you. That's enough.
And yet we are so far away.
So everyone's following social distancing and walking and talking at each other from like a meter away or 6 feet. What is it? 6 feet, right? 7 feet.
I read some study that said that apparently a sneeze travels to 24 feet. I'm like, we're
Yeah, I saw that too. Apparently, this 1 meter or 1.5 meter thing was reduced in the 30s.
Yeah,
and they're like, we need to. Also, I guess like in the 30s, everyone smoked, so their lungs were weaker.
Or just lack of science. I'm assuming just lack of proper science.
Fine, Tushar. Let's make it
real.
Logical.
Okay, we're all about the facts on this podcast, Joel.
What
else are we supposed to do?
So the other day, after Modi ji did his entire light a candle thing, I was walking out. Can you listen to my story, please? So so the next morning, again, like I said, I'd like to say fitness, but more like to maintain my sanity. I took a walk, and then there's this in the center of the complex is this big like a greens of some sort, and I was sitting there and playing with my phone really, and then these uncles are talking about how it was amazing that this was such a great idea for all of us to light candles. And I was thinking, yeah, in the last 15 days, how long has the lockdown been active now? 15 days, right? Approximately, I'm guessing. every week our prime minister comes and gives us new tasks. Like the first week, remember, it was like bang plates
Yeah.
in the solidarity to doctors. Second time it was light a candle because to dispel the darkness of corona.
Yeah.
And these uncles also thought it was an amazing idea, and then they asked me for my opinion. Then they asked me, did you light your candle? And I said, first of all, I find the irony of having to first put off all the lights to then light more lights to dispel the darkness that you've created hilarious.
Wow, you were trying logic with
Because
uncles. What are you saying, buddy?
no, but these were like polite uncles. You know, they might
Okay.
have been like uncle, but they were still like
Okay.
the veneer of politeness existed, right?
Uh,
And plus, Tushar, remember one thing: I have left home in Bombay without carrying my clippers or my trimmer or anything.
hmm.
So my beard has been growing out like a month. So right now I look like the Encino man.
Or
And I
Captain
think they were
Vijay.
also Captain Vijay. No, listen, Captain Vijay has a slickly groomed beard. Okay,
Oh, okay.
not like mine, just
Maybe
growing
for
bushy by
one
a
of
random
your
moment.
roles, you're trying these things. One of his roles, he must have had a big beard.
So yeah, so then I was discussing this with them, and so then I told them what I felt because again I don't live here and I don't care what people think
Yeah.
about me.
You're just ruining
Is
it for
that
your relatives.
it is ruining it for my relatives? Unlike I didn't do those things because I thought it was dumb, and yeah, and their response to it was like, but beta, at this time, like when the nation is fighting for answers, not answers, but like for its life,
Survival.
and people are dying in survival and all, why are you being so negative, and why are you questioning the national spirit,
Lol,
which
lol,
is
lol.
basically uncle for like off, don't ask any more questions and
Questions.
just light a candle
Yeah.
quietly.
वही.
Yeah.
चुपचाप कैंडल
And
जलाना साले. इतना बात क्यों कर रहा है?
hmm,
Types.
yeah, exactly.
हाँ.
Which is what I was like at that moment. Since I had my phone out, I was like, mental note to Tushar, must make this
Yeah.
episode,
No,
must make this podcast topic.
yeah, something similar happened to me, and I think that's why we both arrive at today's topic, which
Huh.
we are going to tease out till later. What basically I was on this, a lot of these conversations are happening about the government's response and this and that, and I think
Huh.
it would not be hard to guess that both of us are on the side that's like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
Uh, so there was this whole discussion going on this old WhatsApp group that I'm a part of, and
Huh.
there was long debates happened. This should happen, that should happen, blah blah blah. And then eventually, after a
Hmm.
point, someone was just like, you know what? I think once you elect a government, you should not
Hmm.
question them. And
Hmm.
then my head exploded because I'm like, अभी तो मेरे को बहुत सारा बोलना पड़ेगा तेरे को because this makes absolutely no fucking sense. I'm like, what is this? Are they your parents or what that you can't dissent? Also, you dissent against your parents, to be fair.
Also, you're
Uh,
supposed to. You should
yeah.
actually.
So, like, who are they? What? How do you not question them? And wait, and if you do not question the government, then they'll obviously stay in power forever, no? Because then the opposition will not exist only.
Tushar, like this,
Virtual dictatorship forever.
the core of this podcast is basically that you take any of these opinions, right? And see, on the surface, for someone who is a little uninformed or whatever
Yeah.
about basic civics, you say something like, see, you elected the government, now you have to let them be for 5 years.
I mean,
This is like,
technically,
yeah,
also, I
you're
mean, you're
making
assuming
you're
everyone voted for them.
no, no, no. I'm just saying,
I
forget
know, I
all
know, I
that.
know
That
what you
is
mean.
like way ahead. I'm just saying, you make this sentence to say, make this statement to someone, and they'll be like, "Yeah, you know what? You are sound right because
Yeah.
this is yes, correct. We are democratically elected government and whatever." And then you just literally, like any uncle opinion, right? You just literally scratch little bit. You don't even scratch. You just tickle the surface of
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and then you realize how full of crap it is.
Yeah, it's like a lot
Because
of these forwards,
obviously,
no? Like a lot of these forwards that come from a certain party's IT cell.
yeah.
They
Now you
possibly
say IT cell, that means only one party,
That's
bro.
true. Hey, you never know. Maybe others have also evolved. So,
What
like
the best
they'll
jokes.
do this thing where they'll put out these emphatic statements. Do you think this is really like this? Why were people here at this time doing this thing? And a
Huh,
lot of times on that initial read, you're like, "Ha, yaar, this makes sense." And then you look around like,
huh,
"Oh wait, this is literally in contradiction to all the facts that are available publicly." But because
correct,
you asked this question, and obviously nobody's going to bother to fact check, you believe that
correct.
bullshit. Which is exactly the same thing that's
Yeah,
happening with this dissent thing, where people are like, "Oh, Why are you asking questions? I remember in the first weeks of this coronavirus thing, everyone was like, don't be negative here. Don't be negative. Don't be negative. Let's be positive about it. I'm like, are positive kya hai isme? You should question the government.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Right.
should question the government. Basically,
And that is
this brings us to the point that what our topic today is dissent. Why dissent is important in any case, everywhere in the world, and why you should question your government.
always. You not question your government, you should question everyone. But yes, because the government has the most power, question them the most.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of you are used to the corporate life that involves not questioning your boss, but maybe don't apply that principle to democracy.
Look, the day you can elect your boss, I think then you can then start questioning him.
Yeah, good point. Well said, Joel.
Correct or no?
What a point, buddy. What a point.
Okay.
So on that note,
Thank you.
we are going to take a short break and come back on the other side with why dissent is important and why we must question the government.
Are you constantly seeking happiness? Wondering how to make the most of every day? How not to let your inhibitions stop you from achieving your goals? It's now time to get your A game on. It's time to unlock your true potential. Tune in to the Empowering series with me, Zarina Poonawalla, to feel empowered in all genres of life. From behavioral skills to management skills. From health to relationships. From mental well-being to emotional well-being. And of course, your finances. I've got you covered. With these tips and tricks from me, Zarina, and true life stories from my amazing guests, you're bound to bring your purest to the table. Tune in to the Empowering series with Zarina Poonawalla every Thursday on the IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Welcome back to Uncle Please Sit, our 7th episode. Today, as we said before the break, we're going to be discussing dissent. We're going to be discussing why it's important to question the government under all circumstances. So, Joel, you want to tell us why? First, tell us what is dissent.
Okay, so basic civics lesson for a lot of people, because this country's civics, the education is terrible. The government and the state are two different concepts, right? The government is the government, and every 4 months, over every 5 years or whatever, the government keeps changing. India is India. I mean, the state is the country, right? It doesn't. The country fundamentally doesn't change because we have a constitution, we have institutions, we have the actual country itself, and that doesn't change, right? So, who are you dissenting? You are dissenting against the government that you've elected. You're not dissenting against India itself, right? Because India exists whether you are there or not. The government, on the other hand, doesn't.
Yeah.
Right? The government depends on you to elect it and to participate in it, to pay your taxes and to do all those.
Okay, and just to clarify to a lot of people listening, by government we mean, like, for example, a UPA government or an NDA government, a government that is formed by a political party, where basically what we're basically saying is that the system of having a government will exist and is important, but the people who form the government should be questioned.
Yeah, I mean, because they should. I mean, I just wanted to make the distinction between the government and then the state.
Yeah.
Okay, that was just a distinction. Like, for instance, if you're talking about the prime minister, you can either talk about the prime minister as the person, whoever the prime minister is at that time, at this particular moment. Like, for instance, Narendra Modi or Dr. Manmohan Singh or whoever is, like, the prime VP Singh or Rajiv Gandhi or whoever. And then there's the prime minister, the office of the prime minister, which is a constitutional function where it's like, there will be a cabinet of ministers from among the elected members of parliament, and the minister that is the prime among them all is basically going to be your prime minister. And if you can talk, you can dissent against the person, right? You can dissent against the person, as in whoever your prime minister is at that time, whether it was Dr. Manmohan Singh or Narendra Modi or Indira Gandhi or Nehru or whoever your prime minister is, but you're not necessarily dissenting against the office of the prime minister itself. No one is saying that the prime minister shouldn't exist.
Yeah, no, and I mean, of course, there are. You can also dissent around the idea that maybe there should be a change in democracy in the sense that you could have a presidential system or whatever. But again, that's a fair critique of the system that exists. It's not saying that get rid of the system completely. It's saying that evolve and enhance the system. So now, basically to put it in simple words, it's completely okay to criticize your government. It's completely okay to criticize the people who are in power because of various reasons that we will obviously discuss during this podcast.
Yeah.
Which we will start off with our first point. The first point is
So, okay, the first thing I want to make very clear is in this podcast is that um, there is this one quote about dissent being the purest form of patriotism,
yeah,
and a lot of people would credit that quote to Thomas Jefferson or to a bunch of other Abraham Lincoln, a bunch of other people, but actually that quote is more recent. It's from a Vietnam War era activist named Robert Zimmerman,
hmm,
and he made this statement that basically dissent is the purest form of patriotism, and the reason for it is very simple. It's because it's not you don't criticize the things you dislike or don't care for, right? You criticize it. You're not criticizing it out of hatred or whatever. You're
yeah,
criticizing it out of love
yeah. You care about those
because
things because you want them
you
to be
care
better.
about these things. Yeah, exactly. Like for instance, I do not give one fig about what the government of Tuvalu is doing right now.
Yeah,
Right? I care a little bit about the American government and the British government because, ma'am, these countries like
affect the
eventually I
world.
care because it affects
Yeah,
us
yeah.
or
It
us,
can
me
indirectly
directly,
affect
right?
us. Yeah,
I don't care about what the Prime Minister of Paraguay is saying right now.
yeah,
I really don't give one single anything.
yeah,
But I only care about stuff because it affects me directly, and I will criticize a government or a member of government or a policy of government
yeah.
because
It
it is
affects you.
something that I care about. It's something
Yeah,
I love,
yeah.
right?
It affects
And
you, and even if it
so
doesn't affect you, it's something you care about.
it's something I care about, right? So here, the thing is that when people, and in this current government especially since 2014 or so, we've seen this effort to kind of curb dissent,
Yeah,
right?
you're branded
Because
as
and
anti-national
the
for
yeah,
questioning what
because
the government,
what the government is trying to do is basically link themselves to the state,
which they are
where
not.
they're like, if you criticize, yeah, which they're not, which they're saying that if you criticize us, you're criticizing India,
Yeah,
which is absolute BS because Modi or Amit Shah or Manmohan Singh or Indira Gandhi or Rahul
hey, but
Gandhi or not
Indira
Rahul,
was India,
Rajiv Gandhi.
remember?
Yeah, exactly. The point is that they're not going to live forever, right?
Yeah, yeah. No,
India
they don't.
hopefully is
Yeah,
going to live forever.
no,
So
that's
you're
the
not
thing.
criticizing them.
Yeah, like for example, we had this whole same situation in the 70s where I remember someone, I think it was one of the Congress party presidents who said Indira is India, India is Indira, which is
Huh.
appalling because I am sorry, nobody is the country, everybody is the country,
And yeah, and that
and
happened, I think, in
just
the
before,
wake of
before emergence,
yeah, no, no, I'm saying that happened in the wake
war,
of the glorious victory over Pakistan,
yeah,
and then literally 3 years later,
posted
she
emergency,
started the emergency.
just,
She's like, yeah.
just
So
like
we all know how that ended.
ruined the whole legacy. And no, that's the thing, right? It's such a convenient way to do, right? Like you will have these party spokespersons saying that if you criticize the prime minister, you're criticizing the country. And also, wait, first of all, you can criticize the country. If there's a problem in the country, you can criticize it. And also, again, we're not working in this assumption that all dissent is fair dissent. Sometimes dissent is also stupid. Sometimes it's also very
Yeah,
dumb. But that's fine
yeah,
because it's generally balanced out by a lot of good dissent also. The point is, if there's enough
yeah.
dissent out there, people will be smart enough, discerning enough to know that most of these things, they can discern between the good dissent and the shitty dissent. And even if they can't,
Exactly right.
eventually there are processes to deal with. But if you're in a situation where you take away the option of dissent, then you create a country that will not improve, a country that will not evolve. And like there are a whole
No, and
bunch of
and also what you've done is you've created this propaganda, right? Where if you've done that entire thing where if you're not with us, you're against us,
yeah,
and they've also another thing that they've done is basically you have social justice activists, you have jurists as in lawyers, you have educators in the form of professors, etc.
NGOs.
You have citizens, NGOs, the media, some sections of it, the parts that haven't completely broken and sold out.
Yeah,
Basically everyone who in the past 5 or 6 years has been accused of being quote unquote anti-national, you just dig a little bit into why this person is being called that, and then you realize that the one commonality between all of these people is that basically they have made the government uncomfortable or ask questions in the
Ask questions.
form of like, a newspaper article or a TV show or a book or a movie or any kind of art or a case, or a
Yeah.
PIL, like for instance in the Supreme Courts or an RTI.
Yeah.
And that is then you basically try to silence all these people, right? Because
That's
by
the thing.
saying that,
So, and
they are anti-national.
yeah. So now we need to like look at this more analytically. We need to figure out. We need to sort
Hmm.
of point out what are the benefits of dissent, because now we've sort of covered the
Yeah,
current situation. Let's look at the benefits of dissent. I think the
yeah,
first one I think is that it improves legislation and governance. It
yeah.
improves.
Because dissent is hard coded into the constitution itself.
Yeah.
Because the for instance the chief opposition or the chief of the opposition
Yeah.
itself is a constitutional post,
Hmm.
which means
Dude,
that just
forget
as you have a government.
I'll tell you, we should even take a step backwards. The creation of the Constitution was a massive
uh,
exercise in dissent and consensus. The
yeah,
fact is that if
yeah,
you
yeah,
read any of the Constituent Assembly debates, every single law
yeah,
was debated like crazy. They spent
yeah,
hours and days. Sometimes they were stuck on for weeks on certain points of
yeah,
what they wanted to add in the constitution. So the whole Constitution of India, the document that governs this country, is based on a lot of debate, a lot of dissent, and eventually the consensus that was reached after all of these debates.
yeah. I mean, there has to be, right? Because we keep saying things like Dr. Ambedkar wrote the constitution, or but even he didn't write the constitution that he wanted.
Yeah,
If had Dr. Ambedkar written the constitution that he wanted, it would have been very different.
yeah,
There were a lot of things that were added in there as because there were some parts of the Constituent Assembly that were dissenting from
yeah,
his opinions,
yeah,
etc., etc.
exactly. So that's the thing. The basis of this nation's existence, in many ways, is based on dissent. Now let's look at
Tushar,
now.
you can go one step further,
Yeah,
just one step
yeah,
further. If dissent was not a thing, we would still be being ruled by the British.
exactly, exactly.
Right. I mean, because if we say, okay, that's our government, the government that rules, we must be listening to them. We must be whatever, like, we must listen to what they say because they are our government. Then by that rationale, though, all the people who dissented in the first place, right, starting right from like Tilak and Gandhi and Nehru and Azad and all these people and Bhagat Singh and all these people were all, by that rationale, like
Yeah,
anti-nationals
yeah. So this is the
because they
logic
were
they use, no?
protesting
Because
against the
even
government.
the sedition law that is often used is essentially a
Hmm.
colonial law that was used against these very
Correct.
people.
Correct. And which they are using now against us, ironically enough.
So yeah, so now let's look at the governance and the legislative part. How does dissent help? Like so for this, I'll give you a
Hmm.
bunch of examples of how it has helped. Like for example,
Huh.
a lot of times there have been protest movements in this country, there have been large scale public dissent in this country, and that has led to
Correct.
a change of laws, or that has led to laws being repealed, or even there has been legal dissent where people have filed cases in courts and laws have either been changed or completely removed or been
Hmm.
called
Hmm.
unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. For example, there was
Yeah.
Section
Like.
66A of the IT Act. Like it
Hmm.
happened about 6 to 7 years ago. This law was brought in by the previous UPA government, and it was this incredibly stupid, sweeping law that criminalized half the things that you do on the internet. And
Correct.
I
Yeah.
remember there was this case where this boy who liked this girl, he took a photo of hers, basically took her Facebook profile photo, and got someone to
Huh.
make a cake using that photo. So her photo was on the cake and had it delivered to the
Huh.
girl's house. That
Huh.
poor guy was charged under 66A.
Amazing.
He spent like that guy was screwed for quite some time. And I think cases like these
Yeah.
started the dissent against this law, which then eventually led to the case, which then went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court was like, this is a ridiculously sweeping law. It basically makes everything
Huh.
illegal. So we call this unconstitutional and this law doesn't exist anymore. Which ironically, some
Yeah. Like.
police stations still insist on adding, and then they have to go to court, and the courts have to be like, guys, this section doesn't exist anymore. What the are you doing?
Yeah. Read the memo, guys.
This is a classic example of how dissent works. And another simple example which just
Huh.
happened recently. For example, when the
Or
government came
like
out with the
three.
essential list. Wait, let me
Huh.
just finish this. When the government came out with the essential items list now,
Correct.
when
Huh.
there was when the lockdown was started, okay, that these essential items can
Hmm.
be delivered and whatever, it did not add
Hmm.
sanitary pads in the list. And it is obviously very dumb because sanitary pads are obviously an essential item for most people, for
Correct.
Muslims
Yeah. Yeah.
below a certain
For
age.
half the population
Yeah,
at least. Yeah.
half the population at least. It was only after there was a lot of dissent online, people essentially calling out the government for not doing this, and
Hmm.
newspapers doing stories about this, that they finally changed
Hmm.
that list and realized, okay, this was a mistake and we should have added it in the first place. And now it's part of the essentials list.
And that's basically this your dissent at work. That's it. That's all it is, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, it's like,
And
hey,
it
the
improves
government says,
governance.
hey, let me. Yeah. So the government will be like, hey, there's this thing, and you're like, hey, I don't like this thing. The government is like, no, man, why don't you like this thing? And you'll be like, here are the reasons I don't like this thing. And the government is like, okay, we will not like. Then because you said you don't like this thing, we will drop this thing, and that's it,
That's
right?
it.
That's pretty much it.
We can make this into a nice explained animated cartoon. You like this thing, you don't like this thing, and then we add this thing. I mean, of course, there are
No, but
other times
it.
the government will not listen to you also, and that's fine. The point is, if you voice in a country, especially like India, with so many divergent voices, with such a huge population of people who are essentially disenfranchised or suppressed, uh,
Yeah.
it also puts the information out there that okay, there are a bunch of people who are saying this. Maybe we may not agree with this. Maybe the government's not changing this, but there's this point of view there, and it will make some people think. And also, what it will do is it also acts as a safety valve in a democracy. What it does
Of
is
course it does.
it basically makes people feel that at least we're able to voice the problems that we're suffering from. We may not be getting a
Yeah.
solution to it, but at least it's out there that this information is
And
out there.
someone has heard me. Someone has
Yeah,
heard me. Maybe nothing will happen today, but maybe like 5 days from now or a year from now,
yeah,
we can, maybe if circumstances are better, we can pick this up again.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, more things. I mean, there are so many more examples like this. In the sense, like I was thinking of even the RTI Act. Uh,
There are so, or Section 377, yeah. That
yeah,
was a two-pronged thing, right? That
yeah,
was first, it was being fought in the courts, which is basically an example of legal dissent. And then it was also, you had all your pride marches and you had a mobilization of public opinion, and you had people dissenting about 377, in the form of art, in the form of articles, in the form of
yeah,
and whatever, like, creative expression. And then finally the Supreme Court of this country said, you know what, guys, y'all, there's this thing, you don't like this thing, so we will remove this thing.
yeah. No,
And basically that's
and again, I like especially the LGBTQ movement in India, LGBTQIA plus. I think that would be the total
huh,
term. Um, in fact, that's a great example of dissent because they fought this multi-pronged strategy of court cases, trying to talk to politicians, trying to do public marches, trying to do all sorts of things. Even on a societal level, think about it, Joel. Like 20 years ago, the moment you mentioned homosexuality in an Indian household, the reaction was
hmm,
like, "What the is this?" But now, I mean,
yeah,
of course, there's still a lot of resistance towards it, but like now, there is still a
of course.
greater, better, more balanced conversation around the issue. There are still massive problems, of course, but
and
people
it's
are like,
and it's a
okay, I'm
good
not as,
example.
yeah,
It's a good example, I think, to use because it's also the an example of, a disfranchised section of our society, and definitely a minority section of our society, managing to assert themselves or certain rights,
yeah,
right, to be given to them. And that wouldn't have happened because realistically, like, if you think about it, right, you have the change happens in two ways. You can either have organized change in the form of governments or laws, or you can have societal change. And a
yeah,
lot of times, societal change takes forever.
it does.
Like, if we were waiting for for our attitudes towards homosexuality or queerness to change as a society, we still be debating this 3 centuries from now, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah, because
before
the
we got any
point
kind of
is,
consensus.
because the point is simple. People who don't like dissent generally like the status quo. They like the fact they like
Yeah,
society the way it is because they are in positions of power. They are in a situation where they have access to good things and they don't care
correct,
what problems the other people are going through. And what this does
correct.
is that it leads to status quo. It leads to a situation where there is no need for change for those people. And often a lot of those people are in a certain majority, or at least an intellectual or a power majority, where they control things.
Yep,
So
yep.
its dissent is essentially the thing that they hate the most because it takes away their power.
Yeah.
अभी देख
No,
simple
and
thing.
it also,
Sorry.
हाँ,
हाँ. Like it's a simple thing, यार. It's a simple thing. अगर तू देखेगा कि if you control, like for example, if you own a company and
हाँ,
you're the only company in that area and you're paying people shit wages, and then of course
hmm,
workers start protesting. Obviously, you
hmm,
don't want them to protest because it takes away your power, it takes away your money.
yeah.
Whereas if they didn't dissent, you could continue doing the shitty thing that you were doing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's again, we both come to these great simplifications of concepts. Me with my the thing analogy, and you with this.
Yeah,
Also explaining the labor movement in one step.
yeah. That's because that's what we do. We enrich your lives.
Yeah, like nothing else is doing right now.
Yeah, clearly.
But it's supposed to, right? I mean, like that's why you would dissent in the first place because it keeps the government on its toes. It also brings in new ideas into, like, like you said, like there's the status quo, there's people thinking in a certain way, and then you want people, and then you have another bunch of people who are thinking in another way, and then obviously those ideas have to clash against each other,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they will not have that won't happen unless there is a mechanism for you to do it, and that mechanism is called dissent.
Simple, like your individuality as a person when you grow up, you dissent against your parents. Now you question what your parents are saying, you argue with them, you fight with them sometimes, because that's how you become an individual with your own opinions and your own ideas. I mean, of course, there are a lot of
Yeah.
people who don't do that because I see a lot of people. I see a lot of 30-year-olds becoming uncles already because they've basically picked up their father's political views. They've not questioned, of course. But
Yeah.
the thing is, as an individual, also, right, you grow, right? That's why you do different things. You have a different approach to a lot of things because you're diverging from the other person.
Also, can you imagine a world where everyone just agreed with each other? It would be so fucking boring. Can you
It would be
imagine?
North Korea completely. All of the
It
world will
would
be
be
North Korea.
North Korea essentially, where no, I'm not even talking about from a political
Yeah,
perspective.
from an
I'm just
individual
talking about
perspective.
from an individual perspective. Like imagine a world where we just nodded and agreed with everyone that we
So
came
annoyingly
in
boring.
contact with.
So
Oh God,
boring
it
it
would be
would be.
terrible.
It would just be
Yeah,
fun and just how will we make content then?
that's
Any type
like,
of content.
yeah, guys,
Guys,
let's make content. We need.
every story works on a conflict. Without a conflict, there is no story. Like how
Thanks.
do you
See,
make
this
a
is
content?
also alongside reasons for you to dissent. Also, script writing 101.
Yeah. First lesson of script writing, put conflict and then solve
Put
conflict.
conflict. Always has to be conflict.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing, right? The conflict also, like a lot of people I know, like when the CA protests were happening,
Yeah.
the anti-CA protests rather were happening. A lot of people I know were initially, at least, when they were just starting, when they were mainly on college campuses, etc. This is before it became widespread. A lot of people were a little uncomfortable with the idea itself of dissent because they were like, "Yeah, why you want to, why do you want to put yourself out there like that? Why do you want to? This the government is saying something. Surely they must have thought this through, and why you why do you want to protest against them?"
Yeah.
Right, and this brings cycles down to the first point that I was trying to make only, right? That, see, look, it's not like this government is unique in its urge to stifle dissent. Okay,
Yeah.
even the
All
most
governments do that.
the most the most democratic, socialist, woke, whatever have you government in the world, like say New Zealand or like some country in Scandinavia, they also hate the fact that, like, as a government, right, you don't like the idea of people questioning you. No one
Yeah.
does, right? No
It's
one
the
wants to be
degree,
questioned
the
all the time.
degree of how much shadiness they do is the different thing. Like
Yeah, exactly.
how much they will attack the people who dissent against them. I mean, because in developed countries that happens a lot less. Although if you're in America right now and Trump is your president, you are. But
There's a commonality over there also, right,
yeah,
between America and us, wherein basically in America also right now, everyone who's questioning what the government is doing is basically, why do you hate America?
yeah, anti-American. Why do you
which
want it
is
to become
which
great
is
again?
what we Which is, yeah, why don't you want America to become great again? Which is what we heard in India as well, right? In halfway through December and most of January, where people were like, oh, why, when obviously there was some amount of public inconvenience with dissent, because that is part of conflict. People want their
Oh,
voices to be heard, right? And
this
the only
brings me
way,
to an interesting point. I remember a lot of people going, if they want to protest, go protest in a field somewhere, no? And to
yeah,
this, I have a there's a very lovely Hindi muhavra that is
huh,
perfect for this, which is basically
huh.
"Jungle mein mor nacha, kisne dekha."
This is the Hindi equivalent of if the if the bear shat, what if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to see it, did the tree actually fall?
I like the Hindi one more because it's about nachna. But basically,
Because
the point is, if I'm dissenting and no one can see it, my dissent is irrelevant, no?
yeah, man, imagine if you're in a restaurant and you ordered something and there's too much salt in your dish. You will go to the kitchen to complain. Now you won't walk away and and go to a bus stop a kilometer away and tell some person that there's more extra salt in your rice.
No, also this also
This
gets
idea of like,
to that part where government hai, they must have thought and decided to do these things. No, it's like what is this
yeah,
assumption? You can think and do a lot of things, but sometimes a lot of that thinking can be wrong thinking also, and problematic thinking
no,
also.
and problematic, and no, this with the especially with the CA and the NRC, etc. It was not even this wrong and problematic. It was quite sinister and evil
Yeah,
also.
yeah. And and the thing is, they put it out in their election campaign a lot of times what they were
Yeah.
planning to do also, and then people are like, no, no, but that was not said officially. No, that was only in election campaign. I'm like, what?
Like what was that line? That Amit Shah line? Yeah, ये तो
Chronology
सब
समझ
जमला
ले.
है.
जुमला
No,
है,
no,
जुमला.
Jamla,
ये
Jamla,
सब जुमला है.
Jumla.
So 15 lakh rupee was a jumla, no?
Ha, that was
Yeah,
very funny, but yeah.
that was hilarious. So yeah, again, you question you this assumption that someone in authority is doing everything based on some sort of sound reason is again fundamentally flawed. I mean, and what the problem with when I see this people assuming this is that look at your own lives now. Look at the people you work with. Look at your own family life. Look at your daily interactions with people and institutions. How often
Yeah,
are there not times when you see something happening or people doing something and you look at that and go like, nahi, ye galat kar raha hai. These people clearly don't understand what they're doing, or they're doing something wrong, or they haven't thought this through. So what makes you think that
and
if in every
you
aspect
don't
of your
hate that
life,
person,
yeah, yeah.
and you don't
And
hate the
yeah,
person for
exactly.
doing
And
anything
so
good or
what
doing
makes
this.
you think that if in every aspect of life there are people who are doing things sometimes by mistake, sometimes out of being assholes, what makes you think that the government is not capable of doing that? Or anyone in authority is
Exactly,
not
right?
capable of doing that?
Exactly, but they are people as there's this one thing that I always tell people who are very pro government, or rather pro this government. I'm like, yeah, so listen, a government that this today it's me, or today it's like an anti-CA protester, or some sort of social activist, or a judge, or in this case now, right now, we are in a time when the Uttar Pradesh government, or you have governments across the country that are arresting journalists for flimsy reasons,
Yeah.
because they are obviously not happy with the dissent or the questions being asked. And then just realize one thing: today it's us, but at no point, even the most aggressive, like true believer, fellow nationalist type person, it's going to come to a point where even then the government is going to say something you don't agree with,
Yeah.
right? And at that point, because of the atmosphere and whatever you've created, at that point you are also going to be anti-national,
Yeah. Because
right?
it's a beast that needs it needs constant fuel, no? This
And feeding, yeah.
Yeah, this behavior against dissent, this behavior to clamp down on alternative thought, it's a beast, and it constantly needs something. It constantly needs a villain. It constantly needs an enemy.
Yep. And this enemy is constantly being like, initially it started off very easily with like, oh, you don't want to stand up while the national anthem is being played in theaters. And that was, I think, 2012 or 2013, right? Or a little before that also
Before
it
that, I
was.
think. Yeah.
At, maybe wherever. But I remember that was around the start, when, like, this kind of nationalism and this kind of thing, this atmosphere started, where it started also very simply, right? Just like stand up during the national anthem.
Yeah.
Then remember there was that entire bit around 2015, 2016, when there were when anyone who did not shout out Bharat Mata Ki Jai
No, they were
was
forcing
considered
them
to
to
be
say it as
anti-national.
if to show like that you are a national.
Yeah. And again, on a rational level, or on a very basic level, where you're saying like, "Hey, what's the problem in saying this phrase?"
Yeah, the
But
problem
yeah,
is
if I
in
don't want to
forcing
say it, I
people to
won't
say
say
it.
it.
Yeah, the problem is in
Forcing people to say it, yeah. And we are seeing this happening right now in this country. And you have the case with Siddharth Vardarajan also of the
Yeah,
Wire,
for essentially a
who's being
misquote.
questioned. A misquote, yeah, which basically happens literally 4 times a day in any kind of
And
media that you read.
also, if you really want to start sending people to jail for misquote, we know which channels would be the first ones to go, the ones that they support the most.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because tomorrow, yeah, even a Republic or a Times Now or any of these like channels that try to quash. I think Times Now, when Arnab Goswami was there, were the guys who came up with this concept of the Tukde gang back in the day.
Yeah.
And it just increases and increases and increases, and eventually the time is going to come when this government is going to turn on these people also.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
Or
It's just
it
going to
will
happen for
completely
sure.
cover,
Yeah, or makes them completely cover. It's
So, yeah.
definitely going to happen.
So yeah, on that delightful note, I think we've effectively explained to you what dissent is, why it matters, how it
Just
helps.
know one thing, that it's definitely not anti-national.
It's the most, I think it's the
And
most
it's,
patriotic thing to do, questioning
yeah,
everything and everyone. I mean, don't be a dick about it.
yeah,
Use logic. Don't be like irrational, but like be smart, read up, learn about it, and then dissent.
but do dissent.
Do dissent. That is what we'd like.
Do dissent.
And before we end today's episode, I would like to request you to share this podcast and all our other podcasts with other people if you've liked them. Also, even if you don't like them, because why not? Share content. People are bored.
There should be such a thing as hate sharing, no?
Hate share. Just hate share it, guys. Hate share it.
Hate share it, guys. Hate
Also-
share it. Like, I hate you. Tushar, you suck. Joel, you can kiss my ass, but here, still, share. Share.
A reaction video of hating us. Also, if you're listening to this on platforms that allow reviewing, like Apple Podcasts and other platforms that I can't think of any right now, please give us reviews, give us star ratings, because again, that also helps us reach out to more people. It adds to the algorithm. And yeah, so before we end, all we'd like to say to you is next time someone says, "Beta, why are you being negative? Why do you have to question everything?" First, tell them to listen to our podcast. And second, Joel,
Uncle, please sit.
lovely. And that's it from us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much and stay safe.
Okay, bye.
माणसं ना गोलगप्प्यासारखी असतात. हाय हॅलो करताना वेगळी आणि बोलताना वेगळी आणि गप्पा मारताना वेगळी, मित्र झाली की वेगळी आणि शत्रू म्हणून वेगळी, थोडक्यात दिसणारी वेगळी आणि असणारी वेगळी, कधी आंबट, कधी गोड, कधी तिखट, तर कधी चमचमीत आणि कधी कधी हॉट अँड स्पायसी सुद्धा. आणि म्हणूनच गप्पा सॉरी गोलगप्पा विथ तृप्ती खामकर फक्त तुमच्यासाठी दर बुधवारी IVM पॉडकास्टच्या ऍपवर, वेबसाईटवर किंवा युट्यूब चॅनलवर सुद्धा ऐकू शकता. तुम्ही आमचा पॉडकास्ट वेगवेगळ्या पॉडकास्ट प्लॅटफॉर्मवरती ऐकू शकता. फक्त सर्च करा गोलगप्पा विथ तृप्ती खामकर आणि आमचा पॉडकास्ट ऐकत राहा.
Advertising is dead. Yep, you heard me right. Advertising is dead. We're all in the content business now. Let's not call it news, TV, radio, etc., etc. It's all content, and we're in the middle of this weirdly exciting phase where all the borders and lines that have been drawn over decades has been swept away by this lovely thing called the internet. We're a show where we don't dwell on just the stuff that is now, but rather the wider stuff about advertising, media, content, and the whole goddamn circus surrounding it. Tune in every Tuesday for our weekly unboxing of the mystery box we used to call advertising. I'm Varun Dugirala, co-founder and content chief at The Glitch, and this is my new podcast, Advertising is Dead.